Welcome everyone. So today in this video we will learn about loop in C. So what is loop, or what is the function of loop, or what is the importance of loop? So we will discuss all these topics in this video. So first let's create one new empty file and save. This is, suppose here in this video I will discuss about for loop, so I will give the name for loop dot c. So include the header file hash include stdio.h, then int main. So here we will write our program. Suppose one program is given to you that print hello world 10 times. So at that time what we will do? We will write suppose printf then hello world and semicolon. So if I want to print this hello world 10 times at that time, so I will just copy this, suppose pasting over, paste and paste. So in this way, if we paste, copy paste, and now if we compile this program, no error, run it. So now hello world is printed, suppose 5 times or 6 times. So if we give one slash n over there in every line, their line break will be there. So control V and now compile and run the program. Now hello world is printed, suppose this is 6 times. So if anyone tell you to print this suppose 12 times, at that time I will just paste it over there and compile and run. Now hello world is printed 12 times. But this is not a easy way of programming. So if I told you to write hello world suppose 100 times or 1000 times, at that time will you copy paste this for 1000 times? No, this is not the right way to write program. So for that reason we use loop in our program. So what is the function of loop? The function of loop is rotate. The loop will be rotated and we will give one condition to that loop, and the loop will rotate as per that condition, and like what I want to print or what I want to keep inside the loop, that loop will be printed multiple times. So suppose in this video we will discuss about for loop. So for that reason I will write for. To write a for loop we have to first write a for. Before I just want to initialize one variable. So suppose the variable name is integer and I am keeping the name as I. Then inside for loop we have to give three statements. The first statement will be the initial value. So suppose the initial value of I is 0. So I will write I equals to 0. Then we have to give another semicolon. After this semicolon we have to give the exit statement. Suppose if I less than equals to 10, and then I plus plus, and inside this for loop I will write suppose printf and then hello world. So now what is happening, I will just discussing this. So what is happening, first of all I have just initialized one variable. So here the name of the variable is I. Then I write one for loop, and what is happening inside for loop? Inside for loop there are three statements. The first statement is the initial value of I. So here I will just write one comment, and here I will write for loop, and then after bracket I will write. So first is the initialization. So initialization. Now the next is the condition, and now the next one will be increment. So this is the structure of one for loop. First of all is the initialization. That means I have to first take one variable and then that variable need to be initialized. So here I just initialize the variable I as 0. Then one condition will be there. So here what is the condition? Up to which the value of I will be less than 10. Suppose here the value of I is 0, so the value of I is less than 10, this condition is true. At that time it will go inside this for loop and it will execute all the lines that is written inside this for loop. So it will print one hello world. After that this I plus plus will be executed. So this is the increment statement. So what is the purpose of this increment statement? First of all, the value of I was 0 and hello world is printed. Now the value of I will be 1. So after printing this statement or after executing all the lines that are inside this for loop, the value of I will be I plus plus, that means incremented by 1. So here the value of I will be incremented by 1. Suppose instead of giving this there, if we just give it over there, it will also give us the same output. Compile this program and run it. Now hello world is printed 10 times. So what is happening here? I am just giving one /m for a new line. Now you can see that hello world is printed 10 times. What is happening? I am explaining it again. So first of all, when the value of I was 0, at that time the condition is true, so it will come inside the loop, and inside this for loop the print statement will be executed. That means first hello world will be printed for value of I is 0, then the value of I will be incremented by 1. So here the value of I will be 1. Now it will go again check if value of I is less than 10. Now 1 is less than 10, so it will come inside this for loop. Again it will print the second hello world. Now the value of I will be incremented by 1. So the value of I will be suppose 2. Then it will again check if 2 is less than equals to 10. So in this way this for loop works. So instead of writing this I plus plus here, I will just cut it and write over there. So this is the structure of one for loop. So in between all the statement we have to give the semicolon. So here for I equals to 0, at that time printf will be printed 1 times, then the value of I will be 1, then it will be printed 1 times. In this way after hello world I just want to write or print the value of I. So here I will give %d and I. So if we compile and run this program, you can see that first of all the value of I was 0. So for 0 hello world is printed. Then the value of I is incremented by 1. So now 1. When the value of I is 1, at that time hello world is printed 1 time. When the value is 2, at that time another 3, for 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. Now when the value of I is 10, now this condition is true. Value of I is 10, that means 10 less than equals to 10. So it will come execute this print statement, and then when the value of I will be incremented by 1, at that time the value of I will be 11. At that time it will check if 11 is less than equals to 10. No, it's false. So it will come outside the for loop, and all the statement that will be written outside the for loop or after this for loop, that will be printed. Suppose here I am printing printf exit. So compile and run. Here we have to give the semicolon, compile and run. Now after printing hello world for 11 times, because the starting loop was 0 and ended with 10, so 11 times hello world is printed, then this exit statement is executed. So this is the main function of for loop in C. So instead of 0, if I initialize the value from suppose 5, so if we compile and run it again, now you can see first of all the value of I is 5. For 5 hello world is printed, 6 is less than 10, so hello world is printed, 7 is less than 10. So in this way up to 10, 10 is less than 10, 10 up to 10 hello world is printed, and then when the value of I will be incremented by another one, at that time the value of I will be 11. The statement will be false. This 11 is not less than equals to 10. It will come outside this for loop, and then all the next line after for loop will be printed. Suppose instead of here plus plus, suppose we can give plus equals to 2. That means plus equals to 2. So if I give plus equals to 1, that is same as plus plus, because in C I plus plus and I plus equals to both are same, so value of I will be incremented by 1. If the value of I is incremented by suppose 2, At that time, if we compile and run this program, you can see first of all the value of I was 5. Then the value of I was incremented by 2. The value is 7. Then 7 is incremented by 2, 9. And then 9 will be incremented by 10. At that time the value will be 11. That means the middle statement, this will be false and it will come outside the for loop. So I also can give, like, if we now want to print 100 lines. So from suppose 1 to 100 and then just incremented by 1, compile and run this program. Now you can see hello world will be printed 100 times. Why? Starting from 1 and then ended with 100 and incremented by 1. So from 1 to it will print up to 100. So here you can see that the last is 100. So hello world 100. Then exit statement is executed. So if instead of 1 I just give here 2, at that time the hello world will be printed 50 times, because for 1, then 3, then 5, then 7, then 9, in this way 99, and after 99 it will be 101. So it will make the statement false, come outside the loop. So we also can increment it by suppose 50. So it will print it 2 times. Why? First of all, value of I was 1, then incremented by 50. At that time the value 51. So execute one more time. So I hope you can understand the concept of for loop. Now I just want to give you an exercise and then I will discuss that. First of all, pause this video and try to check if one number is prime or not. So pause the video and execute the problem, and if you can do it, then great. If you are unable to do it, let's solve the program. So here suppose I am taking integer type I and there will be one number variable. So I will take number equals to, suppose I will take for 40. 40 is a prime number or not? Now one of the rule that prime number follows, that prime number only divided by 1 and that number. Suppose one example of prime number is 11. So 11 will only be divided by 1 and 11. No other number can divide 11. So instead of 11, if we give 20, 20 is not a prime number. Why? Because 20 is divided by 1, 20, and also 2, 5, 10, all these can divide 20. So 20 is not a prime number. So suppose here I am taking an prime number 11. So what will be the for loop? The for loop will be starting from 1 and it will go up to the number. Here instead of 100, here I will write the value of number. And so here the value of number is 11. So the loop will rotate to 11 and the value of I will be incremented by 1. Then inside the for loop I will check if that number can be divided by I. So what I will check? If number mod I equals to 0, then suppose I will take another variable. The name of the variable is suppose count. It will count. So the value will be initialized by 0. Then here I will increment the value of count. Count plus equals to 1. And here we have to provide the bracket also. So it can give one error. And after that I will check if the value of count is 2 or not. So here after for loop, suppose I am just deleting this printf line and then I will check if count equals to 2, then I will just printf, this is suppose prime number, and else. So here I will give an else statement and else I will print not a prime number. So what is happening there? So I am zooming out it, by which you can see the whole program. Now if we compile it, then I will just show you what is happening. So compile and run. Now telling prime number, that means 11, the number 11 is a prime number. So what is happening here? I have just take one number, the value of number is 11. Now I will rotate one loop. The value of root will be start from 1 and it will go up to 11. So first of all the value of I will be 1 and then the value of I will be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 and 11. So this will be the total value of I, because the value of I is incremented by only 1. So first when the value of I will be 1, at that time it will come inside this for loop. What is written inside this for loop? It is written that if number mod I equals to 0. Here what is the value of number? The value of number is 11. So first when the value of I was 1, then it will check if 11 mod 1 equals to 0. So 11 will be divided by 1. So at that time this statement will be true, because 11 mod I, this statement is true. So it will increment the value of count by 1. So count will be count plus 1. So first of all the value of count was 0. Now for the value 1, the count of value will be 1. Now again it will go inside this for loop, and now the loop value will be 2. The value of I will be 2. So it will check if 11 mod 2 equals to 0. No, 11 mod 2 not equals to 0. If you understand the concept of mod, it will give us the reminder. So 11 mod 2, that means it will give us one reminder of 1. So this is not equals to 0. So this statement will be false. So this if statement will not be executed, and again the value of I will be incremented by 1 and will be 3. So now 11 mod 3 equals to 0. This will be false. So it will not go inside this if statement. Again it will go inside this for loop, and 4, for 5, for 6, all the time up to 10. 11 cannot be divided with these 9 values. But when the value will be 11, that means when the value of I will be 11, at that time 11 mod 11, that will give us the 0. That means at that time the value of count will be incremented by 1. So now the value of count will be 2, because first of all count was 1 for this one value. So now for 11 the count will be 2. Now after the for loop, I will check if the value of count is 2, at that time it will be prime number, and if the value of count is greater than 2, that means the else statement, at that time it will not a prime number. So if the number was, suppose the number is, I am taking one small number, suppose the number is 4. So this is not a prime number. What will be dry test case run over there? So first the value of I will be 1 and it will go up to 4. So here this will not be there, 1, 2, 3, 4. So when 1 will come, at that time it will check if 4 mod 1 equals to 0. This is true. It will come inside this if statement and count will be 1. So now the value of count is 1. Then when the value of I will be incremented by 1 and will be 2, at that time it will check if 4 mod 2 equals to 0. This is also true. So it will go inside this count statement and count will be incremented by 2. So it will be 2 from 1. Now the value will be 3. Now it will check if 4 mod 3 equals to 0. 4 mod 3 not equals to 0. So it will not go inside this count statement. That means the value of count will not be incremented. Then for the last rotation, the value of I was 4. So 4 mod 4, this is 0. So it will, this if statement will be executed. This is true statement. So the count, value of count will be incremented by 1 and will be 3. Now the value of count is 3. So here count will be equals to 3. So this if statement will be false and it will go inside this else block and not a prime number will be printed. So if we compile it and run it again, now you can see not a prime number is printed. So I hope you can understand how to calculate prime number. Now to make this program in next level, suppose I just will not assign the value 4 over there. I will just take one user variable, that means one user input in number. So here what I will do, I will just write printf, suppose enter a number you want to check. So this is the instruction I am giving to user, and then semicolon. Then we have to scan the value. Scan if I will take one integer value %d and the variable will be stored in numbers. So now I can take one user variable. So compile it again, run the program, enter the number. If the number is suppose 9, 9 is not a prime number, run it again. If I give a prime number, suppose 17, 17 is a prime number. So instead of printing this prime number, I will just print, suppose percentile d is a, and here in percentile d, here I have to write number, because number is the name of the variable, and here also I will write percentile d is, not is just written. So now here also I will give number, so it will be more user friendly. Compile and run this program, enter the number 5. 5 is a prime number. Compile and run this again. If we give 8, 8 is not a prime number. So I hope you can understand this. So now I just want to make one change inside our program. So what will be the change? If instead of taking less than equals to number, if I take less than number, so at that time what it will do? So when the value of number was 4, at that time the loop was rotated from 1 to 4, because 1, 2, 3, 4. When 4 is less than equals to 4, the statement was true. But if we just remove this equals to sign, at that time this loop will be rotated for 3 times, because when it will check 4 is less than 4, that means 4 is not less than 4, so it will not go inside this loop. So when I will just write I less than number, at that time for number equals to 4, the loop will rotate only 3 times. So if the value of I is 1, 2 and 3, at that time the loop will rotate 3 times and the count will be incremented by 1. So for 1 the count will be incremented by 1, for 2 the count will be incremented by 1, and for 3 the count will not be incremented. Suppose instead of 4 I am taking an example 7. So if the value of number is 7, so at that time loop will rotate 4, 5, 6, and when the value will be 7, it will not go inside this for loop, so 7 will not be there. So for 7, only when the value of I will be 1, at that time this if statement will be true and the counter value will be incremented by 1. And 7 is not coming inside this loop, that means 7 mod 7 will not be there. So 7 mod 7 will not be there, only it will incremented when 7 mod 1 will be there. So for that reason, at that time if we will not give here the equals to sign, at that time we have to make if count equals to 1. At that time the program will run successfully. And at the end I forgot to give that, so we have to give return, suppose one number 3. So we have to give that, because there I have write int main. So now I hope you can understand. If we give one equals to sign over there, at that time this for loop will rotate one more time for this number value, because number is less than equals to number, and for that reason the count will be 2. And when I will not give the equals to sign here, at that time the loop will rotate one less time, and for that reason the count will be incremented for 1 time, so here the count will be 1. So I can compile and run this program, the program will run fine. So 7 is a prime number, and if we give 10, suppose I am giving 10 is not a prime number. So suppose I just want to modify it one more. So if instead of 1 I just start the value from 2, suppose the first value of I was 2, at that time if the value is 7, this 1 will not be there, so it will start from 2. So 7 mod 2 not equals to 0, 7 mod 3 not equals to 0. So this number mod I will not be true for any value of I. For all the value of I, this number mod I will be false. At that time if we make this counter count plus equals to 1, at that time we have to give here 0. If we compile and run, it will give the same output. 5 is a prime number, and if we give suppose 56 is not a prime number. So here, sorry, for 1 the count value was incremented by 1, but here 1 is not there. The loop will be start from 2 and go up to 6, that means n minus 1. At that time for a prime number no mod function will give us the result 0, so for that reason this count will not be incremented. So the value of count was first 0, and here also it will be 0. And that's all for the for loop. And in the next day I will discuss about the nested for loop. So I hope you can understand the full concept. If anywhere you face any kind of problem, you can comment out the problem, and if you like the video, please like it, and if you are not my subscriber, please subscribe to the channel to get all the updates. Thank you.